Every single year, millions of travelers walk through an airport named Rommel. But the name on the terminal doesn't honor the Nazi field marshal, it honors his son. In the autumn of 1977, West Germany was paralyzed by a terror group called the Red Army Faction. After years of bombings and kidnappings, 3 of the group's leaders were found dead in their cells at Stammheim prison. The national anger was intense. No municipality in the country was willing to claim the bodies, and cities across Germany flatly refused to offer the terrorists a grave. That changed when the mayor of Stuttgart stepped forward. Manfred Rommel ordered the 3 to be buried in his city, a decision that triggered ferocious backlash and public accusations that he was honoring murderers. Why would the son of Hitler's star general risk his political career to provide a dignified burial for the enemies of the state? The mayor's decision was a response to a trauma he had witnessed exactly 33 years earlier. In October 1944, 2 generals arrived at the Rommel family home. They informed Field Marshal Erwin Rommel that he had been linked to a plot against Hitler and presented him with an ultimatum. He could face a trial for treason, which would lead to the execution of his wife and son, or he could swallow a cyanide pill. If he chose the poison, the regime promised him a state funeral and a pension for his family. He chose the capsule. 4 days later, the Nazi regime held a massive televised funeral. The official story was that the Desert Fox had died from battle wounds, a lie designed to preserve a military hero for the propaganda machine. Manfred and his mother, Lucy, had to stand at that funeral in absolute silence. They knew every word spoken by the officials was a fabrication, but their survival depended on maintaining the lie. To the German public, it was a hero's farewell. Manfred watched the state use his father's coffin to bury the truth along with the body, a demonstration of how a government could manufacture a lie at the edge of a shovel. As the Reich crumbled in April 1945, the teenage conscript made a choice his father never could. He deserted. Manfred surrendered to French forces and immediately told his interrogators the truth about the cyanide capsule and the staged funeral, handing the Allies proof of the regime's brutality toward its own commanders. After the war, the clean Wehrmacht myth took shape, separating regular German generals from Nazi atrocities, framing men like Rommel as honorable soldiers. The family curated the archives, hiding inconvenient facts, like Gertrude, Rommel's illegitimate daughter, who was kept hidden for decades. While the myth of his famous father grew, Manfred built a career in the West German civil service. He eventually became the mayor of Stuttgart, earning a reputation for his pro-immigration policies and his commitment to liberal democracy. Manfred didn't run from his father's name. Instead, he spent his career building and running the democratic institutions that had replaced the world his father fought for. That work included forging highly public friendships. During his time as mayor, he became close with George Patton IV and David Montgomery, the son of the British field marshal who had defeated Rommel at El Alamein. These men turned a violent generational legacy into a symbol of a healed Europe. They appeared at public events and visited each other's homes for decades. By the time they reached old age, the sons of Rommel, Patton, and Montgomery had replaced the tactical maps of North Africa with a shared social calendar. The rivalry between their families ended exactly where the war did. This commitment to reconciliation is what led Manfred Rommel back to that cemetery in 1977. He faced intense political pressure to leave the bodies of the Red Army faction leaders unclaimed. He refused, offering his critics a single principle: after death, every enmity must end. For Manfred, a society that denies burial to its enemies is a society still governed by the same logic that killed his father. He offered those graves to prove that the new democratic Germany was a different kind of society, one that didn't need to manipulate the dead to maintain its power. Manfred Rommel spent 80 years demonstrating that while a name can be inherited, its sins do not have to be. He showed that the weight of a legacy is defined by what that name represents today, rather than what it meant in the past.